Guardian.
You have one new call.
Before the Giver was found to exiles, the long drift eroded our spirit of eons. Our catch was poisoned by ether hunger and treachery. But just when exiles were near our house, death, the Giver's gravity reach led us to its dark matter. And inside, discovery of the voice invisible. Words of mind alone. The power to speak as one. And in Giver's reach, we also found Ionians. For many lives, we shared discovery. The ways of dark matter open to all. Integration and ether life for our house. Then came the Deathless Warriors. From beyond the Giver's orbit. Strong, impressive, with power beyond stars. The exiles share no hatred with you. We want only the gifts of the Giver. But if the Deathless steal dark matter from our house, they will be met with blades. All will perish who take what is freely given.
Guardian, I've made myself a contact within the Elixir ranks. Apparently not everyone is happy with the way things are being run.
You little sleuth.
That's the idea. Anyway, there's apparently a power station nearby feeding a lot of juice into something off-site.
Got it. I'm reading high levels of arc energy. All right, Guardian, this has to be the house's power plant. There's a massive current moving through the cables around us. And gravitons.
My informant Kielsk tells me that power is going straight into a warship.
If we can get to a power plant's controls while it's charging their ship, we can send a lethal surge to it from here before it ever leaves port.
Crafty. And it'll buy time to hunt down the Strangelet capsule in the Accord. If we stop the singularity from expanding, stabilize Kepler, maybe they'll stand down.
A fat chance we talk a psycho like that off a ledge. He's a true believer in whatever psychos believe in.
They aren't giving us many options. We need to reach the anomaly.
Deathless, why have you come? Glimpses are seen of your actions, but your motive ever shrouded. When my house found Soul, saw the great machine with your world, we left in defeated peace.
It looks like this station is actually drawing some form of power from these native cytocolonies. So, these are their generators?
This whole place is wired like a rat's nest. That's worse than my ship.
Guardian, patch me into a console and I can override that barrier.
Deathless was foretold. See how they must kill as prophesied. Give her sight warned me of this final test. I'll be resilient, my house.
Crazy sons of crabs are gonna cause a damn cave-in.
You're on bomb defusal, Guardian. Not to alarm you, Guardian, but a mine is getting dangerously close to detonating.
Lavask sure likes to talk, making a show of us barging into his house. Maybe we pull his moxie out from under him and he lets some intel slip.
Unless he sees that coming. All this prophecy talk. Back in my day, you kill a fella fair without knowing the future.
You think he's really clairvoyant? Okay, Guardian, we need to find a way to overload that control panel.
Once we do, the immense surge of current will wreak havoc on whatever warship the house is trying to power up.
Probably why they tried to blow us up. I guess they're trying to unplug. We should hustle up. I think you gotta roll up and do that ball thing. Go on.
Like vile Vex, the Deathless is violence-driven. They cannot be turned away by reasoned words. Only blood.
Mighty Archon, we hear your prophecy. The Deathless kneels before the Giver with your blessing. Just open the way.
Will what now?
This was not our tricks. You conspire with metal invaders to keep us from the Giver. To draw our house into folly. Exiles with it. Their death is fated to be reborn.
What's your next plan? Stand there with the guns pointed at each other until someone gets cold feet?
So the Archon didn't take the bait, but he mentioned being kept from the Giver. Sounds like, despite their push to the Singularity, something's still cutting them off from it. That means we don't have to rush right in unless they make a move. Maybe there's somewhere else we can apply pressure.
You're a kid. Those things been shooting at you since you landed on this dump, and you still haven't pulled your piece.
That's right. Unlike you, I don't prefer a gun to solve my problems when questions work just as well.
Enough! We may have knocked out their power, but the Archon's still out there. We'll need to be ready when they make their next move.
You sure your informant ain't running us around in circles, Square?
Kiosk is risking a lot just to speak with me. And I vetted them, of course.
Yeah, you're probably right. All those ones that tried to kill us are just bad apples.
People aren't all one way or another. That's what makes this interesting.
I've been talking to that drifter fellow. Not a name I'd self-apply, but I like him. He understands what it's like to be stranded far from home. Anyway, he was telling me about these aliens who are giving the Ionians such a hard time, the Elixni. Apparently, they normally live on something called ether. Huh. Seems like you already have some experience with it. Interesting. The locals say these Elixni augment their supply with dark matter. Who knows what physiological effects that's having. Might be the reason they're so hostile. I suggest you assess their production lines. If we learn how the dark matter is affecting them, it might give us some leverage.
Team, I've got some intel from my informant.
Informant? Well, well. First it's a contact, then it's an informant. They're taking a liking to you.
Maybe a way to help the house calm down and see straight again. I'm sending coordinates, but keep on that heading.
Lodi, Drifter, checking in. How goes your recon on the House of Exile?
The Guardian's handling the situation well, but Miss Ray, to be honest, I don't like this. There has to be a way to de-escalate the situation.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. I've been watching the house from the derelict, and they are one ruthless group.
Do they appear to be in league with the Conductor? That would tell us something at least.
Not sure who that is. I have to believe this Archon is a lone actor. Guardian, Mr. Ghost, you should be nearing a refinery or some kind of drilling operation. Coordinates incoming. I think this is where they're processing their ether. Maybe we can disable their machinery until the Ionians can correct the process.
Okay, I see it from up here. Derelict scanners are picking up all sorts of weird gravity fluctuations, and a whole heck of a lot of exiles.
Orrin says these trains are like quantum entangled objects, held in superposition across the fourth dimension.
Yeah, Orrin says a lot of things no one understands.
We're through. Now to disable the Exile's dark matter refinery.
I wish it was as simple as talking to them. Last time I tried, I got shot at, and it wasn't my Elixir accent.
They get real touchy sometimes. Sensitive little crustaceans.
Guardian, I'm reading some highly charged energy through one of these pipelines. Lodi, did the Ionians ever explain why they stopped working with the House of Exile? From what I gather, it didn't end well.
I got to talking with one of the old pilots who gabbed on the subject a bit. Ionians tried to synthesize ether for the house.
Why? That's not a simple job. Leave it to those servitor garbage disposals. Matter goes in, ether comes out. Easy.
Except here, everything's imprinted with dark matter, which they apparently want to extract for a pure conversion to ether. The Ionians say it shouldn't be harmful, but the singularity seems to make it toxic to the elixir.
That's it!
You think us sick, but I am mighty. Exile is our teacher, our home. Our rifles are many. Our will is anointed by the giver.
This teleportation jump is out of the anchor pad's range. Maybe we can extend it somehow. That's strange. It doesn't have enough juice to charge the relay. Maybe we can overcharge the cannon somehow. Guardian, it's supercharging the cannon. This is the house's central refinery. My scans are going a little haywire, but that can't be right. These pipes are operating at alarming pressures.
Let me fill you in on a little secret. None of House Exile's gear has safety regulators. My kind of people.
Hey team, I've seen those little flying bots play hot potato delivering dark matter down to your proximity.
I have an idea. Guardian, a concentration of dense matter could send the whole system over the edge. Let's look for those shanks. I think we can fit under the grate, with the pipeline. You were right, Lodi. This scans like dark matter, wrapped around an artificial gravity well.
Oh, don't worry if it doesn't fit. Just jam it in there.
Pressure's increasing. The pipes are still holding. We need more.
Incoming exiles. Crack your knuckles and rack your slides.
I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but they seem intent on a fight. Their leader doesn't sound like he's crazed or confused. He has an agenda and a voice to wield it.
Seen a lot of those types in my time.
Maybe we could still reason with him. Lavask, the House of Exiles and the Ionians used to be allies. Don't turn your back on that. Let's look for a solution. Together.
Fools, scholars hold our ascension for their distant study. No! We will feed on the giver, drink of it, enter its horizon. Ionians want us truth blind, to keep the anomaly's sight from Elixni eyes. Our voice is a raised spear, arc sparking. Sealed against the black space sea. Our banner. We suffer. All suffer. Many visions, many possibilities. Only one must strike true.
That pilot I spoke to, he mentioned the Archon, Lavask, wasn't always the leader of the house. But one day he starts getting visions, next he gets a taste for politics.
A gift from his giver.
The giver and the singularity sound like synonyms, but I can't see how a black hole gives anyone anything.
Given what we know, my hypothesis is that the source of the Holy Singularity, as the Ionians call it, and the Exile's giver are one and the same.
Ikora, The Nine invited us here. It was 3. The thought just... It's like it unlocked in my head.
The Nine. 3. They didn't just bring us here to deal with the Archon. The Nine are extra-dimensional beings. They're connected to the celestial bodies of our solar system.
What does the planet care about a single Elixni? Either way, we need to neutralize the threat he poses to the Ionians. I've seen leaders like Lavask before. He doesn't want a war. He just can't look weak in front of his people. Guardian, I spoke with my informant again. That ship we cut the power to, the Archon's on it. We stopped it from being operational, but he's determined to get it airborne. In between giving intel, he mentioned there have been Elixni on Earth for centuries.
Wouldn't be the first catch you've stormed, hero, or the first house you've toppled.
This will either draw the Archon out so we can deal with him, or at least weaken his authority and delay whatever he's planning to do to the Singularity with that Elixni warship.
All right, hero. If the kid's lead is good, the house shouldn't be expecting you.
My lead is good. Our strangelet's here. I can feel it.
Then let's get in quick and find this servitor.
Deathless, you arrive, yes, as it was foretold. This is one of the fated clashes by exiles. test the Deathless. It is blessed with the Giver's powers. House of Exile will defend it until the end. Sooner to die, sooner to ascend, and be cradle-kept in the Giver's embrace.
I was hoping this would get their attention. Next time we have a quiet moment, I want to try to get them talking. It's worked before.
There's a high concentration of dark matter running through this facility.
Could the Prime Servitor be integrating it into the house's Arc network?
Whatever the Archon's planning, he must need the servitor.
That's a good angle to apply pressure. I'll work it.
Guardian down. There has to be a way through those laser barriers.
I've seen the house use teleporters to navigate these mazes.
Guardian down.
Do you feel it, Levask? Walls are closing in. If the Deathless destroys your house's Prime Servitor, how can you be favored by the Giver?
Our Prime stands in defiance of the Deathless. In service of its holy Archon, it will be reborn and ascend into the timeless space.
Sounds pretty fishy to me, kid.
Admit it, Levask, you're a false prophet. And right now, you're terrified because your plan won't work without your servitor.
Only my vision shows the path. I am ever faithful. I will deliver your promised ascension.
Archon! How do you plan to ascend without the Strangelet? It's all falling apart, isn't it?
We are cunning. In the depths unreachable, we prepare our voyage. You believe you stopped us? You cannot stop our fated harvest!
Lodi, it appears your lead checks out. Here's our prime servitor, and the energy signature coming off of it matches the singularity.
It's definitely holding the Strangelet capsule we're looking for.
I told you my intel was reliable. Now, you take out the servitor, and I'll get the Archon to talk.
Flock of smaller servitors buzzing around. Damn, they're everywhere.
They're like watchdogs. We'll have to clear them out to get to the Prime.
That servitor tripped some kind of magnetic lockdown.
It's cut off from the generator. Shield down.
Can your flesh withstand a dissection, Atomic? Visions of your scattering come to be.
I'm picking up more servitors flooding in. We'll need to take them out.
I know you're listening, Lavask. I know your people are too. They're watching the Deathless shed light on your lies, doubting you.
Our catch takes flight. Our drills tipped with the Giver's power. Into the singularity we ascend!
Another shield generator's vulnerable.
stomach's turning. That's another shield down.
Generator's tight. Looks like there's a crawl space under the floor.
We'll find a way through.
You storm with clown liars at your back. You rape what is not yours and break what others build. See what they take from us, my family. My house, stand with your Archon against the deathless blight. Protect the giver. Protect your holy Saboteur.
It's over, Lavask. Your prime servitor is lost, and we have its Strangelet capsule.
I reject this. We reject this. A defeat here was always a possibility, Met. Just one of the many paths to the grand design. I am victorious. Exiles victorious. We are fated to conquer the deathless. Defeat looms for those who reject the giver's embrace. You will see, as I have seen. Exiled children of Lavask, the giver's arms await us. We will bore into the timeless space and ascend.
Timeless space? They want to go into the black hole. Make it big enough so they can all go through? That's ascension?
Look at this coward, running off every line he can think of. We might have broken him.
But you picked that up? They're gearing up to try to harvest a member of the Nine. I have no earthly idea how, but it can't be good.
You dismantled that con like a pro, kid. Got him spilling everything, just to save face. Nice work.
Thanks for the assist.
One prime servitor down, one capsule in the Guardian's hands.
And one Strangelet to help stabilize Kepler. We're not out of the woods yet, but every bit helps to stop that singularity from growing. I thought there would be a connection to the invitation and the time-lost objects we're seeing here. But we're only seeing time-lost objects from our own past on Kepler, not subjects ripped from alternate timelines.
What kind of technology can do that?
None that we have access to.
Can they be sent back?
No. The Vex can manipulate timelines, but they can't send a subject back in time.
At all? Not even after they've been brought forward? But can anyone do that?
No. Not even the light can do that.
This is bad. This is extremely bad.
Lodi?
Just put the damn thing in the thing. I need to figure out how to word this. God! Just my luck. Of course it's broken.
Check outside. There might be another. If we can't get through, we're never going to reach the anomaly.
This is very, very bad. I could handle abduction, but this, I'm imperiled. I can't return. I have to abandon Odysseus protocol. Guardian, can you get everyone on comms?
What's going on?
I want you all to know, at once, that I sincerely apologize. I withheld the nature of my arrival. It was for the sake of the place I'm in service to. My people protect many secrets, but now it's clear I'm too imperiled to continue this deception. I've concluded I'm in deep shit. Miss Ray, you explained how Guardians used to be just people who died and then were reborn. You said they forgot everything about their old lives. Maybe part of you knows you can believe me.
Out with it, Lodi.
My people and I discovered a signal in deep space which connected to an object we found under our city. It brought me here. All the way from the space age before the collapse. I'm from the past.
How?
I picked up a phone.
I felt the ringing more than I heard it. The when and where doesn't matter anymore. It's all gone. What does matter is that the unknown was calling. Long distance. I knew if I didn't pick up that phone, I'd regret it for the rest of my life. But whatever was on the other end wasn't chatty. Reached out, pulled me through time and space. I should have been afraid. Because it was one horror show after the next. I was skipping around like a needle across the record, jumping from track to track because of my will was not my own. But I wasn't afraid. Not of death, not of aliens, not of whatever this was.
Only the Vex have come close to time travel, but not like this.
Can you go back?
Orin's right. I don't think I can now.
You could have told us at any time. Why conceal the truth?
Protocol, I didn't know if I could trust you. In my time, I worked for an organization called the Department of External Observation. The DEO was trying to make contact with extraterrestrials, so we had protocol to follow in the event of abduction. That protocol meant concealing who I was and where I was from to keep my people safe, but they're all gone. I'm alone, and I need help.
Hell of a trip you hitchhiked. Sheesh. I've got a drink if you need one, kid.
Eons ago, the Nine gave me something. Said I'd know what to do with it when the time came. Now, I ain't above looking a gift horse in the mouth. But this horse, well, it ain't got no mouth. You've seen it. That haul I got strapped to the back of the derelict. Time came and went. I all but gave up. Thought I was doomed to drag half a planet's worth of dead weight behind me until old Soul froze over. But listen, hero. Ever since we got here, something's been scratching at the back of my brain. The hall's acting up. I don't reckon I know what to do with it, but I've got a thought. You could go so far as to call it an inkling. You've banked a lot of motes over the years. Maybe it's time to cash out.
Another lost enclave of humanity. It's incredible. After Neptune, I thought for sure there could be no more. I am rarely so glad to be wrong. We must establish ties with them. Do whatever you can, Guardian. But there is the problem of communication. Relying on Lodi troubles me, as helpful as he is. It would be better to be able to speak to them directly. Even one layer of translation can lose meaning, nuance. No need to mistrust him on my account.
How do you... There! Oh, Guardian! The Ionians were a huge help when I first arrived. I was disoriented. They helped me keep my feet on the ground.
We must learn more. Investigate, and I'm sure I don't have to tell you to be polite.
The Ionians are a society of scientists. I guess that's what happens when researchers end up on the outskirts of everything and stay there forever. Anyone you chat with will probably send you to the Dean. She nearly had a heart attack when I arrived. Called me anomaly blessed. They call you that too. Their language is tonal, but really distinct. It's like someone put Basque and a theremin in a blender and let it run over a few centuries. Man, humans are amazing. Guardian, you've met Dean Rebecca. She's my rescuer, your host. She wants our help studying the Vex, and I've only been able to get so far.
I'm not surprised. They're hostile on a good day.
They didn't seem to mind me getting close.
It's odd they didn't shoot you on sight.
Huh. The Dean would appreciate help bringing deactivated Vex samples to Professor Fiola.
Guardian.
You have one new call.
I have a favor to ask you, Guardian. It's about Lodi. Right now, we have to rely on him to translate, to guide. But it's too convenient. We find a perfectly suitable ally who just happened to arrive here a little before we did. The Ionians have been isolated. I wouldn't expect them to know about Guardians or the Traveler, for instance. But Lodi seemed taken aback to see Exo and Awoken in shared files. Even the Neomuni, sheltered though they were, had those baselines. Where did he come from? Something about him is stranger, even than present circumstances suggest. Earn his trust, Guardian. Perhaps he'll be more forthcoming with you. The language will have to come with time. But the things they know. If I could just understand now, one step at a time. I've been able to initiate dialogues here and there with the Ionians, not much. But better than nothing. They are patient. I suppose they would have to be. One of them repeated the same thing for me, 20 times at least. I couldn't quite understand something about the holy anomaly. And Lodi, maybe. I'll have to try again. Kepler is two things at once. Suspiciously serendipitous and deliberately challenging. It's like we were invited to a dinner and sat at our assigned seats without looking at the place cards. Someone wanted us all to meet. So where's the host?
That's from a Golden Age game called chess. I found a few pieces myself on Earth. It's a sure sign the Nine got their eyes on you. I used to think they were telling us to be strategic, think it through, play the long game. But now, I think it's a reminder that we're just placeholders, stored in a little box they call time, until they're all burned out. Like Orin. Maybe that's just my guilty conscience talking. Go out there and prove me wrong, hero. I'm begging you.
Yes, every other next day I dare. Yes, we will see that story. Yes, in the other human, nothing. Yes, in the other money. Yes, in the other.
Sounds like there are more pieces to collect in the Accord.
I'd sure like to know what they all mean. Wouldn't you? Do it to it, hero.
Sembra calma e pensiero fatti a tocchi e sentui e sa e segnala che se le accatorna non sembra non sembra che ti agliane per saccatare.
Akmine, Yasuduya, Atunkia, Pania, Fatikakuya. Asika, Ayasakuya. Ea, Fatika, Pariusukupa. Ya Fatika, Tuya, Futuya. Pasutuya, Pakia, Fatukia, Katinde. Yusune, Fatika, Pukia, Bomba.
Last time I found one of these pieces, I was having a hard time. Fixing to bug out of this orbit for good. And they're what stopped me. Convinced me there was something left for me here after all. Figured they were secret clues to my place in the Nine's grand plan. Turns out, they were Ionian messages that never made it home. I've just been collecting undelivered mail this whole time. Even if they weren't meant for me, there's no doubt in my mind I was meant to deliver them. I'm glad they finally made it back home, where they belong. Just like me.
This settlement is obviously well established, over decades if not centuries, but I see little in the way of weapon emplacements or true fortifications.
That's the gist I'm getting. The Vex are new, and the Elixni, well, they used to have a working trade relationship. Armed conflict is new for the locals.
Kia o Pakal, Ulfia Sipakun, Olan Pusia, Tukia. Tuteruia Mulge Mika, Sukafa Tuya, Usikara Fusite, Yasekai, Uyafru Tishukuri. Divare Netanas Balara, Yosundiaba, Ladromane. Yalusia Xera Sushinde, Nsa Ultimatum Sindi, Yakutule.
You got my favorite thank you! Nice work, Guardian. You reunited the Ionians with their loved ones.
The scale of this problem concerns me. Our forces aren't so robust as to defend this whole settlement indefinitely, and defense is fruitless if we can't stabilize the singularity. We just discovered a lost colony. This discovery changes how we see our own system. How many others are out there?
Guardian, someone's on the line.
You've made great strides in communicating with the Ionians. We've learned their language has multiple origins. Little wonder it needs such effort. Understanding comes not a moment too soon. Between the Elixni and the Vex, the situation here is unstable. And we have so much to learn from them. I followed your example in translating. Script first, then words. These notes you recovered, unbelievable. The advances this outlines in gravitational manipulation, without the light. And that's only one thesis. I hope some of them at least will be amenable to returning to Earth. We cannot lose this connection. We simply can't.
destructive activity in the agricultural zone is reading as Vex. They're the ones attacking the food supply.
Stop me if this one is obvious, but do Vex need to eat?
Not in any fashion we'd recognize.
Sounds like an empty life. Then this is just sabotage against the Ionians.
As if they weren't facing enough. The Nine, the Vex, and a singularity ripping the planet apart. That's too obvious a coincidence to ignore.
That Vex looks like it's protecting something. Guardian, watch out.
Vex tended to just let me pass on by before you showed up.
Excuse me? The Vex ignored you.
Guess they didn't see me as a threat. What can I say? I have a friendly face.
Lodi, how are you so adept with the Ionians' language? You said you've been here a few weeks at best.
Oh, I was made for this. I'm a translator. I especially love languages I've never heard before.
There's the Vex. Guardian, let's redirect and get that shield down. There's the Vex. Guardian down. hate it when they do that. Guardian, let's redirect and get that shield down. There's the Vex. Hate it when they do that. Guardian, let's redirect and get that shield down. Guardian, we should take a scan of that drive. See if there's any data stuck offline the Ionians need.
It's incredible. Terms I recognize mapped to advanced concepts, prefixes and suffixes as used in agricultural science. We can use this. Let me do some analyzing, but this is a huge missing piece to understanding the Ionians.
Under the circumstances, what keeps the Ionians here? We could begin evacuation proceedings. They would be safe back on Earth.
But they wouldn't be home. They could take a piece of Kepler with them, sure, but it's not the same.
Homes can be replaced, but lives can't.
The Ionians might feel differently about that. This place is sacred to them. The universe determined they belong here. Singularity or not, we can't tell people to pack up and leave yet. Not without helping people who have been stranded from the rest of humanity.
Agreed. No one's leaving until we learn more. Lodi, those Vex. You need to know who controls them. Her name is Maya, the Conductor. She was human once.
What's her objective?
On the surface, to return our current time to a more prosperous one. But her true motive is to reunite with her spouse.
Neither of those sound particularly sinister, but I take it it's what she's willing to do to achieve that goal.
Maya has an ability. She can control whoever she pleases. She's commanding the Vex, a normally leaderless faction, and she's even taken hold of our allies to turn them against us. If she's here, she can do anything to get what she wants.
Aventano sparava pochissimo di affasciare la madre. E sentiva il sera e forse così cara. Pare amare divina. Se tu sinte a palea cosh. Amane beata, yasunduta furia. Yaksinga parakia para sikuya. Yakatanti sepate apatinki. Yasunda, yasekate. Yasumia pakachi shukeapo. Ayak ikan yasekundayo. Acerta tule pakaya para parula sutuya fakuri. Relaka ultima fadurwe. Yasumia farahore.
I know. The exiles have gotten into the, progenitor ship.
It's the remnants of the colony ship they arrived in. Any vibrational disruption could dislodge the lock and speed the Singularity's growth.
We better move fast. Someone once told me that a shuttle quarter that size can go up like a bomb.
The ship the Elixni have taken over. You're saying it's the very one the Ionians came here in?
Part of it, anyway. What's left. They converted it to a permanent emplacement, but they still call it the progenitor ship. The mother of the Ionians. It's the source of all their tools. They put a little piece in every building. Every scientist gets a shot at the hull when they graduate. If the ship goes up, there's a lot the Ionians can't do. Do you have any experience with bomb disposal?
We've handled plenty of mines before. This shouldn't be a problem.
This style of ship is quite old. Even with only this much left, it's incredible. I haven't seen anything like it. The material could have been affected by the time anomaly here. That could account for the relatively good condition.
As a frame of reference, how old would you say it is compared to your ships?
Easily hundreds of years.
Oh.
That equipment sure looks Elixni. Let's see if we can tease it free. An exile captain? We must be doing some real damage if they're deploying like this. wild, Captain? We must be doing some real damage if they're deploying like this.
Guardian, the mines. If even one of them goes off, it threatens the entire material supply for the settlement. No more anomalous energy signatures. Good work, Guardian. The Ionians are safe because of you.
We have to do more to stop the House of Exile. We know from our dealings in the Accord, the Archon's just out to speed up the Singularity's growth. He's just gonna throw more gas on the fire.
The Guardian will be able to stabilize the Singularity once we get through. There are too many problems, and all of them are connected.
You have no idea.
Unless you have any ideas, then we have to consider evacuation. Reunification with humanity. After centuries apart.
Centuries? No. No, them coming to Earth would be existentially disorienting.
Lodi, please don't mistake me. This is the Ionians' home. We have to believe there's a way for them to return safely.
And what if there isn't?
I am Ricardo Amano Divina. Uyasindiaba kuntia kule, yasa kunya gora. Uyarena, dinrebekaya sunya kunya, patise kuisa. Yasindia kundia. Isuka ola itana mekanala, isuka kufa sundi, uyana hushako suyala. Tuyasa. Tequila, mami divina. Isuniaka zuna bule, yasuniaka sakania fukula. Yasunde akila, yasara fakinde, iksalorda yuri, kinke ura. Ayasunde alakaya fumara. Ya, amani divine. Kisa fakula paketu kuvishui. Ila tequila vake, insuya faringiava, frisangia karingia sikuri, arasingia, uliatuya.
They found you so fast. My name is Orin. My name was Nasan was Nasya Sawa. What do you call yourself, stranger?
Lodi, pleasure. Miss Orin, do you know something about who brought me here?
I know you will be elected to become something impossible. Your molecules have already volunteered.
I'm sorry, my molecules?
I was the emissary as you are, and will become the same. I quit, and it left me transmuted. I think if I can help you adjust, I can reclaim my mind.
Emissary for whom?
The beings in your dreams.
You know who brought me here.
Nungkot siya. Sa pagkatuloy, asong diya kaya mundo.